in Seattle. There's an article in Seattle Times that Bethany Clement wrote. She's the Seattle Times food writer, that talks about how some of the new restaurants in Seattle, the upscale, quality, chef-driven restaurants, are, going to counter service, where basically what you do is you go up to the counter, you order at the counter, they might give you a number, and then they bring you your food. It reminds me of when food courts first started in shopping malls. And she really talks about, the cost savings that are there. But probably my takeaway, which I really didn't think about, because I think about McDonald's, or I think about Starbucks, or I think, in terms of counter service like that, that what these chefs are doing is they're really training their people at the counter to be able to explain about the food, to talk about the food, that this could be a new trend that really connects the people who go to the restaurant more with the kitchen than having to go through, your waiter, to communicate. What do you think of this idea? And do you think that it has legs and it's going to expand?
I have mixed feelings about this, Phil. The idea behind it that, some of these restaurants ended up going this way because during the shutdown, they had to just learn how to make great takeout food. What
Yep.
can they make that will travel well from restaurant to home and will be great? So I can see how they've ended up here. And, as we've been talking so much about staffing issues, I think so these restaurants are seeing this as an opportunity. Hey, let's focus on making really great food, making our food really, that's what people are coming for. And, we don't have to spend as much money on the staffing. Now, one of the issues I take with it, and I just got back from Baja in Mexico, and this is very, very commonplace where I was. Almost every restaurant was order at the counter, take a number to your table, even in very nice restaurants, and then you sit and wait. And I find it to be a little bit frustrating because I feel like I'm forgotten. I feel like, oh no, they're not going to find me. I feel like it takes longer for me to get my food or to get a refill on my drink. Or, another cocktail. If I'm ready to have another cocktail, I've got to go to the counter and order again rather than order from my server. So, this to me is a slippery slope, just like self-checkout is. Those people that don't want to do self-checkout. They want a person at the grocery store helping them through the process of checking out their groceries, bagging them, all of that. They may feel the same way about going to a restaurant where they don't have somebody actually taking care of them.
I think you bring up some really good points. And also in this article, she talks about the fact that I think it's an average of a nice restaurant, not a really upscale restaurant in Seattle.
Uh-huh.
For two people, now dinner for two and wine cost you $150. So for $150, yeah, I want a waiter. I want somebody to
Exactly.
and I love your example of self-checkout. It's the same issue. And I think that while it is a cost saving, certainly for a lot of restaurants to be able to do this, I am concerned that it drives more people away from wanting to go to a restaurant because it's just a real pain in the ass to do it and to wait. And I love your observation that you feel a little lonely just sitting there with your number and nobody's paying attention to you. I mean, because when we go to a restaurant, part of it is, having a community. Part of it's being seen. Part of it's being, part of this whole big thing in a restaurant. And if you're just sitting there with a little plastic number, it takes away.
Be sure to visit supermarketguru.com for the latest marketing analysis, issues, and trends. And don't forget to join us back here next Tuesday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern for more.